Drinking was hot no matter what the temperature. He belongs to Maine. Disco was the new dance craze, which was short-lived. Hairstyles were the afros, the bigger the better. And who can forget Farrah Fawcett hair? Again, the bigger the better. Fashion saw the men in polyester leisure suits and women in hot pants. And of course, who could forget those most memorable events of the time?
Good afternoon. Welcome to Indiana Systems. Please let me know.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind. I just need to get a few things, and I shouldn't be more than a couple minutes.
Take your
My
time.
father is waiting for me to look for a new car.
Take your time.
Yes, I did.
I haven't seen you in here before. Are you new to this area?
Oh, yes, I sort of walk just around the street, and I used to come to the store quite often. I moved away a little over 30 years ago, got married, raised a family, you know, the usual thing.
And your husband decided to move back?
Oh, no, I'm alone. My husband passed away last year, and I wanted to go back home where things haven't changed much.
Let's see. That will be $10.96, right?
Yes, you're out of things.
Yeah, that would make sense.
My goodness, are you sure? Things never cost that much before.
It must have been gone for a while.
Well,
guess you can say she's not so... Try to help you a little bit. I was tired when I wrote this. Television was also much different back in the 70s. Today we have flat screen TVs to mount to the wall. Systems that make your living room the area movie theater. Screens so large you need an addition to your house just to fit it in. With today's cables and satellites, it makes it possible to have over 100 channels available on your TV, and there's still nothing on TV to watch. Funny how when I was growing up, fiddling with the rabbit ears on top of the console top TV and getting rid of most of the snow made for great TV viewing. Shows have certainly changed over the years too. Good old wholesome family shows with plots, values, and most often happy endings such as Lassie, The Waltons, The Brady Bunch, I Dream of Jeannie, The Partridge Family. These have been replaced with the shows that contain violence, drugs, sex, drama, more violence, and even more sex. And of course, let's not forget the daytime dramas, which are a category all of its own. Game shows were and still are popular. In the 1970s, many game shows made their debut, some of which are still in the air today. The one that started it all was a $10,000 pyramid. Other game shows now appearing were Break the Bank, Family Feud, still on the air today, The Match Game, The Joker's Wild, Jeopardy, The Price is Right, and The Wheel of Fortune. The last three still air today. Some of you may remember The Gong Show. This was hosted by Gary Owens and then Chuck Barris. Amateurs would go on stage and show off their talent, often lack of talent. The celebrity judges would rank those that were able to make it through without being gone. Let's sit back and revisit this game show classic already in progress. One we don't want to know about is little Miss Dorothy Haskins, who will be singing a song for us.
Play my toys, even my drum and train. I want to make some noise with some grilled aeroplane. Someday I'm going to fly. I'll be a pilot too. And when I do, how would you like to be my crew? On the good ship, Lollipop is a sweet trip to a candy shop where bonbons play on the sunny beach of Peppermint Bay. Lemonade stands everywhere, Cracker Jack fans fill the air, and there you are, happy ending on a chocolate bar. See the sugar bowl, do the twisty roll, with the big bad devil food cake. If you eat too much, oh, you'll awake with a tummy ache. On the good ship, Lord.
Now we have Little George.
Hooray! Oh.
And now we have our Grange laureate, Marion Jones.
He'd never give me a chance, hadn't he? Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the miniature sleigh made by the reindeer. Little Miss Muffet sat on the carpet. Oh, Captain, my Captain, the fearful trick is done. I shot an arrow into the air. It landed in Miss Muffet's derriere. Under the spreading chestnut tree, a stubborn owl stayed. John West, whoever he is, an angry man is he with trouble on his hands. The carburetor seems to be the He tightens up a dozen bolts and still it doesn't go. Then he sits down beside the road to give his brain a chance to cool and ponder on his learning at the correspondence school. And then he starts his job once more. But just by chance, it seems, the cause of all his trouble is he's out of gasoline.
You got another one?
The little toy dog is probably dusty, and the little tin soldier was ready to across the, I can't remember the next line of this.
Oh, let's hope these don't appear in the talent show tonight. Our last act is two young ladies hailing from Chichester who will come and entertain us with I forgot the name of the song, but they'll do it.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we'll know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you don't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road, I'll share your load if you just call me. So just call on me, brother, when you need somebody to lean on. There's no problem that you don't understand. You don't need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lean on me.
Tonight. I don't make the rules. Now we're going to have a little bit of audience participation, and you can all stay in your seats, so don't have to worry about it yet, you guys. We have a little TV trivia questions. List the first and last name of all 4 sweat hogs on Welcome Back, Kotter. Epstein, Juan Epstein. How did Jamie Summers become bionic? Yeah, close. She received bionic class after serious injuries from a parachute accident. It involved the sky and falling out of it, yeah. Name every actress who played an angel on Charlie's Angel. Okay, I got most of them. There was Farrah Fawcett, Kate Jackson, Jacqueline Smith, and Cheryl Ladd, the originals. Then there was Shelley Hack and Tanya Roberts. What color is the car that Starsky and Hutch drive? Okay, yeah, red with a white swoop. It says it became a filmation creation in the 70s. Star Trek. Name the two main families on soap. And the tapes, yes, Campbell and the tapes. On what show did Dano get to book the bad guy? Yes. What model of car did Starsky and Hutch drive?
You did know.
Yes, a Torino. What did the chief nickname Starsky's car on Starsky and Hutch? No. It had a swoop, remember? The striped tomato. The real name of the cast of Gilligan's Island were... The real names.
Bob Dylan. Yep. Russell Johnson. Ginger. Tina Louise. So they were Bob Denver, Alan Hale, Russell Johnson, Tina Louise, Don Wells, Jim Backus, and Natalie Schaefer. What was the first name of Captain Dobie on Starsky and Hutch? Oh, it's Doobie. Dobie, no. Well, that didn't help it. No. Harold. What's the connection between the Carabinet Show and Mama's Family? Skip.
Vicki Lawrence and Carol Burnett. They both have recurring roles on both shows playing Eunice and Mama. You're all going to know this. What did Archie Bunker call his son-in-law?
Yeah.
Who wrote the 1977 TV miniseries Roots? Whose big break was playing Vinnie Barbarino on Welcome Back, Kotter? MASH. What was Ray O'Reilly's real first name? Very good. Can you name all of the Bradfords on A to Z Up? There's only 8. Mary, Susan, there was no Lucy, Nicholas, Tom, and Tommy. There's Tom, Abby, David, Mary, Joni, Susan, Nancy, Tommy, Elizabeth, and Nat Nicholas. On Happy Days, what animal did Fonzie jump over his motorcycle?
Shark.
On Happy Days, what animal did Fonzie jump his motorcycle over?
Shark.
Shark. Very good.
Jerry, I come from the stuff too.
You know Happy Days.
How many people remember SWAT? Kate Jackson was on that TV show before she went to the town label. She was
With TV on, there were different commercials, and there was one product that was quite famous, still around today. And this is still known as that. Keep it clean, gee. This is a family show. There was a product that was famous then that I was able to find around here. Anybody else want to try? It'll drive you relax. Okay, where are we now? In the 70s, a new kind of music emerged. It became very popular very quickly. This was known as disco. The movement began with the movie Saturday Night Fever, which starred John Travolta. Performers such as the Bee Gees, Donna Summers, the Village People, and ABBA, just to name a few, jumped on the bandwagon to grab their piece of the pie. Disco died as quickly as it began. I'm now going to invite anybody who wants to come on stage and perform a little disco number.
Now remember, if you don't volunteer, your state electors have to do it for you. So if you want to save your state elector the agony of having to come up here, what support you guys have? He's getting pressed. Oh yeah, the national is coming up too. Because Judy will be the one that will lead us in this. Right, Judy? Unless you can get quiet, and I don't see him in the room. You know, I have 20 more minutes. I gotta kill some time.
So, just get up here and do it along.
Well, that certainly brought back memories, didn't it? During the 70s, many events made headlines and changed the course of America. We had a president resign over a scandal, advances in medicine and in space aviation, cell phones and computers were in their infancy. So much had happened. Perhaps the most memorable event of the decade was the celebration of the American bicentennial in 1976. Our nation was celebrating its independence for 200 years. Let's look back at that time and see how much has changed and how we feel about our country today.
1976 occupied a lot of time at small towns and in granges. People had costumes, some of you may still have them around. What we have here is a collection of tableaus hitting a few spots in American history and a little production number at the end, if it works. Tableau 1 is the Spirit of 76, bicentennial of the birth of the United States. It was a year of parades and celebrations all over the country. In the states representing the 13 original colonies, the celebrations were so intense that one man allegedly vacationed in Canada for the better part of the year to avoid all the hoopla. Our New Hampshire grade bicentennial history celebration has 3 more parts. So we'll bring on Betsy Ross. Again, 1752. She was a seamstress who shared the poultry business with her husband John. John was killed in 1776 in an explosion. Almost 100 years later, at an historical society meeting, Betsy Ross's grandson, William J. Canby, first told what has become a very famous story. He first remembered hearing the story at age 11. His grandmother told him that General George Washington asked her to make the first flag. George Washington had suggested a design of 13 stars and 13 stripes. His stars had 6 points, but Betsy knew how to make a beautiful 5-pointed star by folding a piece of paper and making one with a snip. Now General Washington was very impressed with her. Betsy placed the stars in a circle and the 13 stars and stripes represented all of the 13 colonies. And this stars and stripes design was adopted by Congress on June 4, 1777. For many years, historians have searched the government records to prove this legend. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to find any information to confirm it. They have found, though, evidence to indicate that Betsy Ross did make flags for Pennsylvania state ships. A book published by the descendants of Betsy Ross says that the famous painting of her with the Continental Congress was painted by an artist who may have been speculating about what actually occurred. But since this painting is so well known and it's shown all over, it's very hard to say that it never took place. And many also believe that Betsy was a truthful woman who would never make up stories. Now, during the war, there may not have been time to make clear records of every meeting that had taken place, but there is one story of a fellow church member who visited Betsy Ross's shop after her meeting with the Continental Congress Committee. The visitor saw the star that Betsy had cut out and he asked to keep it. And in 1925, his family safe was opened to reveal that same star. In fact, it's now on exhibit at the Quaker Free Meeting House in Philadelphia. Whatever the truth may be, people love hearing the story of Betsy Ross and the making of the first American flag. It's a part of our history. It also gets women into the Revolutionary War tableaus. Okay, tableau 3. Val cramped in December 1777. Disciplined, self-confident, and dignified in June 1778. Valley Forge is the story of the 6-month encampment of the Continental Army of the newly formed United States of America under the command of General George Washington, a few miles from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Though no battle was fought here, a struggle against the elements and low morale was overcome on this sacred ground. Famous people who served at Valley Forge were Benedict Arnold, Nathaniel Greene, Alexander Hamilton, Lafayette, James Monroe, Baron von Steuben, Martha Washington, Mad Anthony Wayne, and others. Our particular tableau shows George Washington visiting the wounded. And bring on tableau 4. 76, Richard Henry Lee brought the following resolution before the Continental Congress of the United States. Resolved that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved. On Saturday, June 8th, Lee's resolution was referred to a committee of the whole, that's the entire Continental Congress, and they spent most of that day, as well as the next, debating independence. Since Congress did not agree, more time was needed to give the delegates from the colonies which had not yet given authority to adopt this resolution time to consult their constituents, and in the meantime, so that no time would be lost, a committee should be appointed to prepare a declaration. On June 11th, a committee of 5 was chosen. Thomas Jefferson of Virginia picked unanimously as its first member, and Congress also chose John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Robert R. Livingston, and Roger Sherman. The committee assigned Thomas Jefferson the task of producing a draft declaration for its consideration. It's interesting to note that Robert Livingston never signed the final declaration after it was passed by Congress because he felt it was premature. Jefferson's writing of the original draft took place in 17 days between his appointment and the report of the draft to Congress on June 28th. Jefferson's original rough draft was first submitted to Benjamin Franklin and John Adams for their thoughts and changes. The entire committee reviewed it after Franklin and Adams' changes. After much discussion, 26 changes were made from Jefferson's original draft. Then Congress passed Lee's resolution that the United Colonies ought to be free and independent states on July 2nd, 1776, and they also passed Jefferson's declaration 2 days later on July 4th. 12 of the 13 colonies reached agreement to formally declare the new states as a free and independent nation, New York being the only holdout. And our tableau shows Thomas Jefferson letting Benjamin Franklin review his declaration. Now a little rotating tableau here. You are going to picture a giant lazy Susan on the stage. Beautiful music will play. You will help with that because you're going to sing some verses of America the Beautiful. And if you don't happen to know all of them, take it. So if the tadpoles will come out and set themselves up in a square,